Hey everyone, Lauren Wild, the Church Witch here. I just decided to do a quick astrology transit of like what's going down this week, and I will show you why. Let's pull up. I'm actually going to pull up my chart, so I don't have to cast a whole chart for today. But okay, so here's what we're looking at. This is my own natal astrology wheel, so everything that's in here is mine. But this is what we're looking at. These are the transits, okay? So today, March 31st, 2020, this started at 7:30 this morning, okay? So what we're looking at here, what I really want to draw your attention to is going to be the aspect over here, which is Jupiter in a conjunction with Pluto. And they've been conjunct since, middle of March. Tomorrow is April. So there's some pretty strong transits that are going on this week. And one of the main ones that I want to show you is the one that happened this morning, which was Mars that came into an exact conjunction with Saturn at 0 degrees of Aquarius this morning. So you can see Mars is here at 0 degrees of Aquarius and 0 degrees of Aquarius Saturn. Mars and Saturn, this can feel really frustrating, and especially if you don't feel like you can take action in some area of your life. You want to look at where is Aquarius for you in your own chart. This is the aspect of Saturn is discipline and responsibility. It could also feel like superiors and people in your life that have somewhat of an advantage over you, or your boss, or maybe you're self-employed and you feel a lot of pressure from your employees or your business or whatever it is. Saturn denotes discipline and a lot of structure. And Mars is action-taking, aggressive energy, masculine, yang energy, solar energy. It's how we take action. In its lower expression, though, it's also god of war. So these two together create this very strong pressure feeling because of the fact that Jupiter functions like a magnifying glass. Wherever it is, it expands the energy. It's sitting in a conjunction at 24 degrees of Capricorn, where Pluto is in an exact conjunction. So Jupiter is expanding all things Plutonian. And so essentially what we're getting is this big push of responsibility, and Aquarius rules the community, right? It's the humanitarian. It is the village. It's how do we take care of the community? And so there's this epic, responsibility to find the truth, because Jupiter is how we find the truth. Capricorn is big government, politics, policies, power, and condensed, forms of tradition, conservative power, like the government, essentially. And Jupiter rules Sagittarius, which is the truth seeker, and it wants to dive down deep. And then Pluto is the shadow and the hidden things, right? So what we're really looking at is a lot of deep digging shadow work in the government, and large forms of power, and as well as how do we take care of the village? Okay, this is not easy feeling energy. Right now the moon, this specific transit, let me push it up to current time, which is right now, because the moon is in Cancer now. What time is it? I'm trying to see. Hold on. It's 2:40 p.m. So let me change this really quick. Yeah, okay. So you can see the moon was conjunct the karmic north node this morning, the early afternoon, which means that the south node is over here at 2 degrees. And so what we're looking at is, a lot of the energy around the Cancer Capricorn axis, which is nurturance, a village, home, security, as well as purging big sources of power. It does not feel easy. Nothing feels easy right now. I'm sure that you feel that as well. But it's definitely its own it's its own like pressure cooker situation, that's for sure. We've got Venus over here at 27 degrees of Taurus. So it's getting into the later degrees of Taurus. It will move into Gemini in a couple of days, I think by next week. Next week, we have a full moon in Libra, which is going to shine a light on the other, right? So what is the balance of the situation between the self and the other? Sun is at 11 degrees, pushing 12 of Aries, which, you know, is really shining a light on the individual and how we take action. You know, we've got Lilith over here at 7 degrees of Aries, Chiron at 5 degrees of Aries. So luckily Lilith is out of her exaction with Chiron, because that was painful. But one of the bigger aspects that is going to happen this week on Friday is Mercury, which is now fully direct and out of its shadow period. So it feels like we are like, you know, moving back into the future, right? Like current time. It's going to come into a conjunction with Mercury. Mercury is going to come into a conjunction exactly with Neptune and Pisces on Friday the 3rd. This is like a lot of the pentacle of the coronavirus energy. Pisces can rule illness. So, you know, it is a little bit more susceptible to like that physical body. And if not the physical body, the mental health. So a lot of what I've been talking to my clients about today is coronavirus could never touch you physically, but could do massive damage psychologically and mentally during this period of time. We are undergoing a collective global trauma that we haven't seen the effects of yet. We won't for probably generations, but it is really important that you protect your peace, that you protect your mental health, get out of your pajamas, you know, put down, like we are almost 3 weeks into this thing, put down your midday margarita. Like we have to start focusing on our mental health. We've got to come back to our routines. We've got to find ways that like, it's not about productivity. Like that could just incite a lot more trauma and damage to the psyche. It's just about like self-care at this point, like tending to your mental health, taking vitamin D and fish oil. When the sun is out, sit in it, moving your body in whatever way, whatever fashion that looks like. Because, you know, depression can settle in, especially when Jupiter is conjunct Pluto. It's just so heavy. So, you know, tending to those things. And then just recognizing that, like we're in it. And this is what, you know, I was talking to my friend, it's like right now America's like having its Saturn return, you know, like the world is having its Saturn return, and it feels awful when you're in it and like your world goes upside down. And then like 5 years from now, you'll look back and be like, God, those were hard times, but I would never trade it. It's kind of like that, where it's like, we needed the government to see that everybody deserves healthcare, right? Like we needed those things. That's not to minimize the situation or the illnesses or anything. It is literally just to say that, you know, there is purpose astrologically that we see. Me and every other astrologer are like, unfortunately, like this is what it's taking for our government to see that everybody deserves healthcare. Everybody deserves to be taken care of. Everybody deserves a roll of toilet paper. Everybody deserves a bottle of hand sanitizer, because we're all in this together. When one person gets sick in a situation like this, everybody has the potential to get sick, right? So making sure that you're taking care of yourself, you're staying in the present moment. Anxiety happens when you try to future cast and like get way ahead. Depression happens when we go back to the past. So the truth is just being in the present moment and dealing with it one present moment at a time, with a lot of care and compassion. Okay, so hopefully this helps. You know, the moon will move into, what is it? Going to move into Leo next. What are we in Cancer? Yeah, it's going to move into Leo, I believe, on Friday, which is waxing Leo moon. So it's like passion, you know. I believe Venus makes a trine this week too, which is like, you know, commitment in relationships. And then, you know, the moon will move into Virgo over the weekend, which will make us like really want to complete tasks. And then on Tuesday, we have the full moon in Libra, which I will come to in my full moon report. And hopefully this is helpful to you guys and serves you well. Take care of yourselves out there. I love you very much. And I will catch you later.